Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Paul here. So happy New Year, everyone. Cheers to you guys. Okay, so today's the day. Okay, so I'm coming to you out of my workshop. Okay, for this special occasion, let's put it like that. So I did receive a lot of requests via LinkedIn, via YouTube, direct contact of people that were looking to understand how is it that I can actually become overemployed or with at least extreme demand. Okay, so today I'm going to be sharing with you my Salesforce journey, and this was the request. Okay, what is it that I need to do in order to actually to jumpstart my Salesforce journey or even to accelerate my journey. Okay, with that said, so I took a look into this. So now I'm over 10 years now working on Salesforce, and we are about to start 2023. And with that said, I thought to myself, why not? Okay, so this is the perfect occasion for that. Okay, so with that said, just buckle up. So I'll be sharing with you the pitfalls. What is it that you should be looking at? What is it that you should actually expect to get from Salesforce? And hopefully, as I mentioned, you're gonna be with extreme demand and eventually even overemployed. Either way, you're gonna be earning for sure good money. Okay, I can talk about myself. Okay, so personally speaking, I never in my wildest dreams I expected to earn as much as I am right now. So knock on wood, fingers crossed. So hopefully things will continue the same or even better. Okay, but essentially I never expected for that, nor I expected actually to have so much demand as I have right now. Okay, so I'm coming from a point where I had zero demand. Okay, no one was actually knocking at my door, up to what a point where I can essentially choose whatever I want to do. Okay, and how much I want to earn. Okay, with that said, don't go anywhere, just subscribe, give it a thumbs up, join me on this journey, and buckle up for the first one. Okay, let's go into this. So what is Salesforce about and why should you actually pay attention? Okay, so for those that already are, let's say, more knowledgeable around Salesforce, are experts of Salesforce, I'd say that you can actually skip this one. But for those that are not, okay, I would say that you should stay and pay attention. Okay, so to start from, what is Salesforce about? So Salesforce is a platform, an ecosystem, let's say, that actually started just with the CRM part, okay, and then later on it evolved and continued to evolve as we stand. So, but nevertheless, it started with the CRM, okay, essentially the focus on Sales Cloud, pipeline, meaning focus on the customers, calls, everything around relationship with the customer, and this all done by a digital platform. Okay, then continue to grow, and this started actually to have another solution that is Service Cloud, and then later on Marketing Cloud with the acquisition of ExactTarget at the time that was then rebaptized to Salesforce Marketing Cloud, then later on Pardot, and then it continued to evolve up to a point that it went much more than just the customer or the revenue cycle, let's put it like that. So it went into a point where it started to acquire data visualization solutions such as for instance, on this case, Tableau, market leader, integration like on the case of MuleSoft, and it continues to grow. Okay, so with that said, from all of those different solutions, Salesforce, it became so big, so huge that you have loads and loads of different alternatives out there. Meaning, if you are a coder, okay, if you are a developer, if you are a business analyst, if you are a project manager, if you are a marketing guy, a sales guy, meaning an architect, there is options for everyone. Okay, even if you're just a business guy, okay, there are options within the Salesforce ecosystem. Okay, but nevertheless, okay, going back. So outside of that, there is one thing that you really need to be mindful of. Okay, so let's say the enterprise application industry or software roughly has a value of around 271 billion according to Gartner. Okay, so from that, you have CRM. Okay, CRM stands for roughly a quarter of that. Okay, so meaning if you are really thinking why should I actually pay attention to this, this is one of the main reasons. Okay, so it represents 1/4 of the software enterprise solutions out there. Okay, so it's a really a big chunk. Okay, so outside of that, if you look specifically to Salesforce, okay, Salesforce is the market leader for I don't know how many years. Okay, so I've been working on Salesforce over 10 years now, and it was always, I would say, if I do recall correctly, always the market leader. Okay, so specifically and looking at jobs and opportunities that you have out there. So the expectation is for 2024 that Salesforce will, the market around Salesforce will create roughly 9,000 jobs in North America, roughly around 500,000 in Europe, and give or take 800,000 in APAC. Okay, those are huge numbers, and this is one of the reasons that you should really be paying attention to. Okay, so the Salesforce ecosystem by 2024, the expectation is that will create this amount of jobs. Okay, and if you are able to be part of that wave, meaning you're gonna get the job, I would not say for life, but I don't know, meaning the growth and the demand continues out there. Okay, and it's more and more every year, so the expectation is that will continue to grow even more now with digital transformation. Okay, so that's in a nutshell what you should actually expect looking at Salesforce. What is this about, meaning, and why should you actually pay attention? Okay, let's talk a bit more down into the concrete around career. Okay, and specifically I'm going to be talking about my career, so that you have a kind of like some best ways or best practice, let's say, that you can actually take a look into this. I'll be sharing a bit of my advice, my pitfalls, what is it that I should actually do different if I could actually go back, and this mostly looking at 2023. Okay, because it's going to be a challenging year. Okay, with that said, don't go anywhere, stick around for the next one. Let's go into this. So evolution and pay, this is based on my own experience and advice, and if you have a different experience on how to jumpstart your career on Salesforce, on how to fast track your career on Salesforce, would be good to know. Please feel free to drop it on the comments below. There is no such thing as one single solution to address this. Okay, so this is based on my experience, okay, and my personal advice. Okay, with regards to this, so meaning to start from, I think that you should actually consider on starting your Salesforce career at a regular company and then move along into a consultancy. Why? Okay, so first point is it's important for you to actually to understand the griefs, the pains, the challenges, the business of a regular company, and that would allow for you to actually to have much more, or you're gonna be in a better position, let's say, for you to actually to move into consultancy and then be, let's say, put into a project where you can actually bring more added value. Okay, it's extremely frustrating when you are coming across a consultant that does not understand the griefs and the pains, and therefore cannot actually propose a good Salesforce solution. Okay, so I think that is my personal advice. Okay, and why moving into consultancy after? Because you're going to be earning more. Okay, and then whenever you are actually put into a project, people will have a different perception of yourself, because they're going to be looking at you as an expert, someone that is a consultant, someone that actually know his shit. Okay, with that said, the important piece on this one is for you to understand that there is not one single path, let's say, but this is my own advice based on my experience. Okay, then the next point is that you can later on actually move from a consultancy into end customer again, into a regular company, and there you're going to be earning more as well because you are coming from a consultancy. Okay, or not. Okay, you can actually just stay in the consultancy and go through the path of growth. Okay, my take on this is that you can do either way. Okay, I've done I went from one end to the other, works nicely, and then as you stand right now, I'm at the consultancy. Okay, so all good, all fine. Okay, outside of that, what will be my advice? If you're gonna start at a regular company, you don't need to start at any, and you should not even consider to start. If you have the possibility of choice, you should not actually start on a regular company. Try and look for companies that are going to business transformations or digital transformation. This is where you're going to be learning more, and most likely this is those are the companies that actually are looking for talent like yourself. Okay, and this will also allow for you, if you have a bit of luck, let's say, for you to actually to work already with consultancies. I'm going to give you my personal experience. So I remember when I was working at Canon Europe HQ, the Japanese brand cameras and so forth. So I was lucky enough to actually to be part of a massive digital transformation project that allowed me to really to fast track my knowledge, but also in my career on Salesforce. But also on top of that, I was lucky enough actually to work with 3 different consultancies. Okay, Deloitte, Capgemini, and Accenture. Okay, so that is fundamentally one of the reasons why I'm giving you this advice. Will really fast track, jumpstart your career. Okay, as a next point, what will be also, let's say, my thoughts with regards to pay, meaning, or even before that, actually before talking about pay, talking about consultancy. Then as the next point will be, then you're gonna go into consultancy. Okay, fine, you can do one of the things, or you're going to go into as a freelancer, okay, or you're going to be working as a regular consultancy, Deloitte, Capgemini, Accenture, IQVIA, for instance, whatever makes you happier. Okay, either way, your knowledge is going to be more valid, you're going to be perceived differently and believe me, whenever you are put on a project, people will see you differently than before. Okay, it will give you much more pleasure, work-wise, personal-wise, etc. Okay, then with regards to pay, what is it that you should be expecting? Okay, on my specific example, flat out, okay, on my first job on CRM and on Salesforce, my salary was doubled. Okay, this was my experience, does not mean that it will be always the same, but it's likely that you're gonna have a massive increase on your move into Salesforce. Okay, for sure, 100%. Then on top of this, I think for you to actually to better negotiate, it's important for you to actually to understand how much can you actually earn. Okay, and for that you need to understand what's your market value. Okay, and if you want to know more about that, just check one of those videos. I work across different countries. Okay, and on those videos where I work in Belgium, the Netherlands, Portugal, etc., I'll share with you how much can you actually expect to earn and what is it that you should be looking at. And if you want to know more about my Salesforce journey across 5 different countries, that was a massive one, I have to say, just drop it on the comments below, I want more hashtag, okay, and I will actually build up that video, because it was really, and it is a massive experience, and meaning in terms of earning and pay rises, things were just throughout the roof. Okay, with that said, just to close this one before I'm talking about my mistakes and wisdom, let's put it like that, I would also advise you for you to take a look at this video around the top 5 entry-level certifications to help you jumpstart your career. With that said, let's go for the next one. Let's go into this one. So, giving you guys a bit of a summary and update. Okay, so the numbers that I shared with you with regards to 2024 up to 2026 in terms of growth was, of course, before all of this mayhem and that we have currently in terms of hyperinflation, meaning the war in Ukraine and so forth. Okay, so the question that we may ask ourselves now, is this still valid? Okay, so let's first take a look at the facts. Okay, so and this, I'm looking into this myself as well, looking at 2023 and looking to see what will be my approach and looking to share with you guys as well so that I can better help you. Okay, so looking at the facts, so Salesforce had a massive layoff of roughly 10% of its workforce, so give or take 7,000 people. Okay. And what's worse, between brackets, is that accordingly to CNBC, so right after actually doing that, showcasing that or sharing that was going to lay off 10% of the workforce, it says that the co-CEO Mark Benioff actually said that most likely we will have a new wave of people getting fired. Okay. Plus, the interesting part is exactly what is it that he actually mentioned afterwards, and how is it that you can actually read it in between. So first and foremost was that the biggest problem was actually coming out of the salespeople, mostly the new salespeople that were not able actually to close on their quota and therefore actually sell. Okay, then as a consequence of that, the Salesforce revenue was actually growing, but at a slower pace. Okay, so this is what we have in terms of facts. Okay, so looking at 2023, should we actually take this as doom and gloom? Okay, so to start from, most people that actually meaning are getting fired, or a lot of people that are getting fired, for what you can actually tell from Benioff's words, are around sales and the commercial side. Okay, so this indicates that the market as a whole is actually slowing down. Okay, that's what it seems like it, or at least meaning it's getting ready for that, so they are prepping themselves. Okay, but meaning I don't have any crystal ball. Okay, so my advice would be to build as much pillars as possible. Okay, as you can. But I would say the following: if you cannot do it, actually, I would focus on Salesforce. And why? Because it's like, meaning, paraphrasing, let's say, Stuart Mills, so the VP of Trailhead and the Salesforce ecosystem, he actually said one thing that I completely agree, that is actually due to the global economic issues. Okay, the job market is unpredictable at the moment, but we have to remember that the Salesforce job market is quite solid, okay, and it's quite strong. And once more, the CRM market is one of the biggest ones in terms of the tech side of things. Okay, so with that said, I would say that you should still keep some kind of optimistic perspective with regards to this in terms of finding jobs and solutions. Okay, let's talk about mistakes and wisdom. Let's put it like that. So to start from, my advice, okay, learn as much as you can. You need to own the growth mindset. Okay, if you're going to be working on BizTech, okay, business and technology, your brain needs to be your most valued let's say asset, okay, outside of your body, of course, but meaning your knowledge is your asset. Okay, so you need to really to have a growth mindset. You need to constantly to continue to study, to work and grow your knowledge, because that's what you're going to be paid against. Okay, then listen. It's important for you to listen, and listen to those that have more experience than yourself. Don't just receive it just because, but listen, okay, because that will allow for you to meaning avoid to commit some of the errors that others actually already done. So okay, and then I would say, as another piece of advice, don't ever give up. Okay, study is hard, being working at the end customer, regular company is hard, working at the consultancy is hard, but nevertheless it's gonna come with amazing benefits. Okay, believe me, talking about personal experience here. Okay, mistakes. Okay, I spent far too long working at a regular company, so meaning I would say that you should be working, meaning 2 to 3 years maximum should be enough, and then move along to consultancy. I spent really far too long. Okay, I'm not even sure how many years, but I think it was like around, in between, summing things up, roughly around 7 years or so, or 6 years, far too long. Okay, Try as much as possible to work on projects. I would advise you. Also on BAU, business as usual, okay, regular business. That will give you, meaning the backbone that is needed for you to move along from business as usual into projects. And as much as possible on the business side of things, try to combine things together. Then the other thing that, meaning in terms of advice or even I would say mistake, I did not, or regrets, I did not invest as much as I could on helping out the community, okay? Meaning I'm working since 2012, okay, with over 40 Salesforce projects. I went through a lot of pain, a lot of success, and I could actually share more, okay? And I did not. And this is partially the reason why I decided to build this YouTube video, even more this YouTube channel, just to share knowledge around MarTech, Sales Tech, meaning CRM, transformation, living abroad, etc., to share, because I think it's important, because everyone can, not just myself, to learn, but also to share and help you out as much as possible so that you can be successful as well. Okay, so to close this, as I mentioned, this was one of the reasons why I decided to actually to build the channel. So hopefully this will help me to recover the lost time, okay, and continue to actually to share and exchange knowledge around Salesforce and other topics, as for instance transformation and living abroad. With that said, if you want to know, and to wrap this up, if you want to know how to learn more about Salesforce and how to learn how to get 9 offers out of 10 and get your dream job, just click on the video on the link below. And before you do close, just give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and join me on this journey. And this is it, my friends. Okay, take care, and once more, Happy New Year, everyone. Okay, take care. Cheers. Bye. Bye.